What's going on today, guys? It's Invader, and I'm back with another video. And 1047 Games, the lead developers of Splitgate 2, have just announced that they are going back to the drawing board, and that they announced their new game, Splitgate 2, a little bit too early, and they are going back to their roots to rework the game with core features and things such as progression. Because, well, look, even though their game was free to play, it launched in a pretty abysmal state, and I'm not just going to sit here and shit on the developers, because I genuinely think they meant well with Splitgate 2, and, like, for the few hours that I had in the game, I thought it was an alright game. Like, it wasn't the most fun thing I've played, but it wasn't super bland and boring, it was just average, right? Like, I think, overall, this is a good decision for them to go back to the drawing board, but once again, man, I feel like their failure is less of a, hey, the Splitgate developer sucks, and more of a modern gaming sucks kind of deal, right? The important thing with Splitgate, as with many modern games that are coming out nowadays, is the fact that they didn't forget to add in all the bullshit monetization, right? But they did forget to add in core base features such as, you know, game progression and having plenty of content to play at launch. The game had a lack of content. It certainly did not have a lack of microtransactions, and although like I said, I don't think Splitgate 2 was a bad game by any means. I just feel like it was just a victim of modern gaming and, you know, shareholders and greed, right? Like, I remember when this fucking dildo, the lead of 1047 Games, came out on stage wearing this stupid-ass, what's it called, Make FPS Great Again hat just for his game to launch with fucking $80 microtransaction bundles and a Battle Royale. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for the game having a Battle Royale. It's just another game mode for people to play. It's just more content, right? But you can't sit around making fun of every other goddamn developer that develops shooter games and then release the slop that you did with Battle Royale. Like I said, microtransactions out the ass. These motherfuckers had an $80 bundle in the game at launch, right? Now, don't get me wrong, they did remove that $80 bundle. They made it significantly cheaper. I think they brought it down to like $20 or $40 or something like that. But still, $40 for a skin is way too much, especially in a fucking game that barely has any game modes or content or maps to play to begin with, right? Now, like I said, it's a good thing they're going back to the drawing board. They're going to bring in a lot more maps, a lot more modes, right? But this is just something you should have thought about before, right? Especially like considering you're launching a free-to-play multiplayer game, right? So there's only one way you're playing the game, and that's with your buddies or, you know, going up against people. It's not like it's got like a PvE mode to keep you in for months, right? It has none of that shit. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Halo Infinite's launch when that came out, because it only had like 6 maps. It didn't have level progression or any of that shit. It's just like every time a game developer does this shit where they launch bare bones, no progression, lack of content, it's like, what do you genuinely expect to happen to your video game that you're coming out with? I feel like this is just bad business practice from these fucking companies that are launching these games way too early. And let's add to this, right? These idiots down at 1047 spent like $400,000 to get streamers to market the game. Like, brother, you guys can just make a decent game and not have to worry about marketing for streamers, right? Just make a decent game and people will play it. There was recently this game that one of my buddies got me. It was called Schedule 1. It's basically like a weed selling simulator. It's a drug selling simulator, basically. Walter White simulator is what I jokingly call it. It's a lot of fun. The main way I heard about this game is through one of my buddies. I did not hear about this through streamers or anything like that, or them, you know, going through some big-ass marketing campaign for people to play Schedule 1. I just heard about it from a friend who said it was really good, and then I fucking hopped on the game because it was relatively cheap, enjoyed the fuck out of it, right? And I recommended it to more friends. Like, there is a huge underestimation of word of mouth, you know, video game marketing, which I still think it works phenomenally to this day. The whole reason I heard about Splitgate 1 was through other friends who were playing the game were like, dude, this game's pretty awesome, you should check it out, right? That's how I heard about the shit. Not through fucking watching stupid dildos like Tim the Tatman play the fucking game. Like, I genuinely don't give a fuck what streamers are playing, because most of them are NPC dildos that are just doing the shit for the money, right? Like, there is, like, no streamer's ever gonna sit around and be like, yeah, the game that I'm being paid to play fucking sucks, dude. You guys should not play it. No, man, these motherfuckers are always going to sit around and tell you, yeah, dude, this game's awesome. I'm getting paid, you know, $10,000 to fucking play it. You guys should all definitely try it and check it out. Like, man, I feel like if game developers weren't sitting around wasting their time with fucking streamers trying to get them to hop onto a game that they have zero interest in to begin with, right? Maybe there would have been a little bit more success with a game like Splitgate. But instead, they're focused on giving $400,000 to a bunch of morons who sit at their fucking computer, you know, digging in their butts, essentially, rather than sinking that money into their product to make a better product in order to actually make money, right? And like I said, I don't think Splitgate was a bad game. It just had a lack of features, lack of content, and over monetized, right? And I can get that there's always people going to be like, oh, hey, but the game's free. Like, why are you so worried if it has microtransactions? Because, man, I feel like it's one thing to have microtransactions. There is no fucking reason that there should be an $80 bundle in your game when it comes out. Especially when you come on a fucking stage like Summer Games Fest or whatever the fuck it was, claiming, what's it called? You're gonna make FPS great again. Yeah, you made FPS fucking phenomenal again. Your game's dying within a month of it launching. I'm pretty sure the last time I checked Steam charts for Splitgate 2, it was under 1,000 players playing the game right now. I believe the peak was like 25,000 or something like that. Guys, these are awful numbers for a, you know, fresh first-person shooter that's free to play that just entered the market. Like, these are awful numbers. Like, I don't think numbers are everything, but when you have a new IP like Splitgate, relatively new IP, right? It's not like something like Halo or Call of Duty that's been around for 20 to 30 years, right? You need everything, every new player you can get, right? And a lot of the Splitgate's failures are the doings of 1047 themselves. Like, they didn't go about this the right way, right? And look, I'm going to go back to the free-to-play shit once again and, like, the word-of-mouth thing, right? But people will play the game if you make a good game, right? People will hop on it and they will happily play it, especially if it's not a $70 piece of slop. Most of the games I've recently been playing I've gotten under $20. And in the case of the game that I'm using for this gameplay, Star Wars, I had a friend gift it to me while it was on sale for like $5. Like, people don't want to get gypped on their fucking time when it comes to video games, right? They want to buy something that actually, you know, that gives them entertainment value, I guess, right? They don't want to just fucking buy something that they're going to play for a little bit and then fucking be done with in 2 months, right? Splitgate 2 did not have a lot of staying power, and the fact that the game died as fast as it did and went back to basically Splitgate 1 player count numbers is... oh, man, that shit's just fucking sad. And like I said, I don't think the game is bad, right? It's certainly not unique in any ways. It's very similar to Halo, and, like, it's like a combination of Halo Infinite and Black Ops 3, which those are two great games, right? The game has potential, but it's just, look, when you sit around making consumer decisions, you don't really, become self-aware of the shit that you're doing. You're just like, man, I got this really awesome game that I'm working on. I'm going to make FPS great again, and you fucking drop the ball like a moron. Anyways, guys, I think that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are one of those people playing Splitgate 2 and actually enjoying your time, I'm sorry that, the game is dying and, going back to the drawing board. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.